What a great day it is for me personally, simply because a friend of mine was elected sheriff. I can believe it. Freeland Wood, you have given 30 plus years in public service in the Shawnee Police Department. Right. You are about to be sworn in, or by the time people see this, you're going to be our new sheriff. We got a new sheriff in town.
That's funny.
How does that feel, Free?
It's amazing. It feels great. I'm very, very humbled, but I'm honored to be able to serve the county.
Yeah.
You know, there for a long time it was the community, but now it's the whole county, and it's amazing.
It is, but I go all the way back to 7th grade when we first met, really. And we were kind of county boys at that time, out at the school we were at. And Freeland, you know, something that impresses me so much about you is that you really seem to have the same spirit about you today as you did back then. So much more experience, but just humble, as you say, strong. And your presence, I think, is going to be something that's wonderful for our entire county. But before we go on, I want to recognize Mike Booth, who's going out. Tell us a little bit about your working experience with Mike over the years and just what you feel about our sheriff who is now releasing the reins to you.
I got to know Mike years ago when he came into office. I was at the Shawnee Police Department for several years at that time, and but got to know Mike. Mike was a very kind person, very helpful. Being at the city level, I didn't really have to call him very often, but he was always helpful in other ways, and he's going to have some big shoes to fill. I think I'm going to be okay, but it's going to be a challenge, but he's a great man, and we got to have some really good conversations, the last few weeks, or maybe 3 weeks before he left, and he's going to be very helpful, and I plan on calling him when I have questions, because he's got a lot of knowledge to just, not access. So I'm excited to have him there to call upon, in the future. So.
Yes, what a wonderful experience that Mike has given. He has put a steadying force on the Sheriff's Department, and now you're taking over.
Right.
Freeland, what do you anticipate, or actually not even, before we look to the future, what have you learned already about the office that's going to be something that excites you to be able to serve the county?
To me, I've always been impressed with those guys, the deputies and the admin. They've always been kind. The deputies have pretty much work with very little pay, which is disappointing to me because they need to be paid more. These guys, but they don't complain. They work and they do their job. I mean, that was what impressed me the most about these guys. Was I'd go on a call and I never once heard them complain. Go to hopefully we never have to, but going to a funeral when they're honoring one of their fallen retired sheriffs, or sheriffs or deputies, the way they show up. And so I know I've got a great group of guys to work with, and I'm excited about that. And I think that we'll be able to work together. I really will.
Well, I love it, and it's so much like you, Freeland, to mention the other people who are going to surround you. You've always been one of those quiet leaders with strength. And I know you're coming out of the Shawnee Police Department with leadership experience and capabilities. Talk a little bit about that. Your previous experiences and how you feel that has prepared you to lead such a great group of deputies.
For me, I think it's the fact that the 36 plus years I've had there, and getting to learn so much from the great supervisors that I've had, and even learned a lot from the bad ones, because I've learned what not to do and I've learned what to do. And so I think taking that with me and knowing how to treat people and to treat my guys and for them to realize that I'm serving them. Not only am I serving the county, I'm serving my guys, my deputies. And so I think that just the knowledge as far as the leadership that I was under I think is going to help me a lot here. And I'm not that far removed from working the street, and so I will remember, and I remember what it's like to be on midnights, because my last years there was midnights. Well, when I was working the street, it was midnights. And I know what it's like to be held over for a meeting sometimes, or have to deal with stuff after I get off. And when you're working midnights, the only thing you want to do is go to bed. I mean, you want to, and your goal, obviously you can't do it, depends on the time, but just get home before daylight, or at least just past daylight, to go back to sleep, and then sleep 3 hours and get up, and then go to sleep again 4 hours later, and then get up again because your spouse is home. I mean, so I do not miss those days, but I'm going to I understand though what it's like to work that way. So when I deal with my guys over there that are getting off on midnight shifts, I'm going to realize the most important for them is to get home and go to bed. And that's what I feel. And plus I really, really believe it's your family is important. And I'm going to push family and the importance of having families and the importance of being there and not putting so many hours in that you don't have that time.
Well, for those who don't know, Freeland's got a wonderful family, wife Shirley, a couple of boys. Tell us a little bit about that, Freeland, and what that has meant to you in this next stage, because you basically have put in an entire career and now you're starting again.
Yeah, I tell you what, I've been so blessed. Justin and Jonathan, they're both very supportive. I think they're excited for me. And and I've got 7 grandkids that just can't wait. And I don't know if they really understand what it is I'm going to be doing, but they are excited about it, and I think they want to be able to show up in the office.
They know Grandpa's sheriff.
Yeah.
I don't know, but my grandpa's sheriff.
That's funny.
That is great.
But as far as back to my wife, I mean, she's done so much. She's raised our kids. My kids are successful because of her. I spent all the time on the street working overtime to make ends meet. And my biggest regret would have been if I had done this job without the opportunity of working at Shawnee High School, because that kind of made up for the time I missed with my kids, because I was able to spend it for 4 years with them at the school.
Yeah.
And drive them crazy, follow them around, and so give them hugs in the hallway to embarrass them.
Yeah.
So that made up for it.
Well, a big testimony to you, Freeland, and to the spirit that you carry about you is your days at the school and how you met so many people. You went against, in the election, a very worthy opponent and just a wonderful, wonderful man, actually, very competent. And to say nothing about him, you won in a landslide, and that is because, I believe, growing up with you, that is because you have gotten to know so many of our kids.
Yeah.
And they are all now of voting age.
Right.
So we who grew up with you, but then all of our kids as well, going through the schools that you have been in the hallways with for so long, we all know Freeland Wood, and we care and believe in you, Freeland. Right. And does that put added weight on you?
Yeah. Oh yes, I'm telling you, it's I'm excited about doing this job, but at the same time, I'm like, I hope I do it justice. I mean, I know I care. I know that I care about everybody, and I know I'll do the best job I can. But I mean, there is a lot of pressure there, and I don't want. I was told numerous times you can't make everybody happy. And I know going into this, I'm probably not going to make everybody happy, but I can tell you what, I do care. And I will be someone to listen to you, but I may not be able to help solve every problem. And that bothers me, because I do want to solve problems. That's my goal. But unfortunately, there's issues that we can't do anything about, and I hate that. And I shouldn't say I hate. It makes me sad that we can't fix a lot of that.
Well, talk about that for your populace.
I think the biggest issue and it sounds kind of it's the animals. Solving the problem with the dogs that are strays on the street or out in the county, that we don't have an animal control. We don't have a way to solve that problem, and I hate that I hate saying the word hate, but it bothers me that we don't have that, and there's not a fix for that. And I can't tell you how many times I got messages on Facebook about an issue, and even someone wanting me to take a dog, and I already have dogs, and I didn't have anywhere to put another dog, and but I even tried contacting rescue places, and they don't have room, and there's just nowhere to put them. And so I feel terrible about that, and that's not something I'm going to be able to fix. That's something that legislation is going to have to fix. And Shawnee, for example, how much they spend right now just on dealing with animal control issues. It's a lot of money, and we don't have that money. That money's not there for us to be able to budget.
So what's the biggest difference? You mentioned Shawnee, which is where your previous job was the municipal government of Shawnee. So within the Shawnee city boundaries, you had jurisdiction. Now your jurisdiction boundaries with the county more than triple.
Right.
And the populace doubles. So how are you going to be able to adjust from being a city or a municipal officer to a county sheriff and in charge of the entire legal
Well,
force?
I know it's going to be a challenge. I mean,
Law enforcement. I shouldn't say legal.
I know what you meant. Yeah, but I mean, yeah, it's going to be a challenge. I'm blessed, though. I'm going to tell you this. I am so blessed that we have such great agencies, whether it be our Shawnee PD, our McLeod, Tecumseh.
He's going to leave some out.
Asher,
We'll just let you-
Asher, and Maud. They've got some great great officers, and they do a wonderful job. And so I'm going to be leaning on them, to help. And then they're going to, hopefully can lean on me. I mean, I'm going to try to bridge that gap there that we had where we can all actually work together and get along with each other. And I'm excited about that.
Yeah.
Now let's add, our tribal. We got the Potts, we got Sac and Fox, we got Kickapoo, and absentee, and we got Seminole. I mean, even though they're not in ours, they're there for us, and just like so I'm blessed to have them because they're very, very important to us because they back some of my guys. And so I'm excited. I'm excited about working with all of them. And
that'll be a new phase for you. And you mentioned backing some of your guys, of course, taking some of the financial burden off of the sheriff's office by providing funding to be able to help to have more officers and deputies out there.
Yes, and I mean, like I said, so if you go back, I think it's going to be an easier transition because I have those guys. And I'm gonna, and like if it's an issue in Shawnee, well, Shawnee's very capable of taking care of those calls. They know what they're doing. I've been there 36 years. I know they know what they're doing. They got some great detectives. They got some great guys there that, and so I know. So what I would like to do is take and help them if there's something they're dealing with that, somebody calls me and they're not happy with the way it's going. I can promise you they know what they're doing. It's unfortunate that they don't have enough evidence there to go further, or they would. I mean, they do a wonderful job, and that goes with all of them. They work hard, and again, they're working under budget restraints too.
Yeah.
But we definitely have one. It's tough on our guys because, I mean, I'm not going to say what they make, but it's pathetic for them to put their life on the line for what they make.
Yeah.
And it makes me sad because I know I did it for all those years, and I'll be doing it again. But they're worthy of a lot more. They really are.
It takes a lot within a person to do what you have done for 36 years, and now jumping back in. Many don't. And we talk about pay, but it's unfortunate. A lot of the most important positions in our community, within our social cultural structure, go underpaid. I mean, we talk about others in your family, I know, working in the school systems. It's just hard to depend on tax dollars in order to get done everything that is anticipated of you. And Free, my heart goes to you in knowing you for so long that it will be hard for you not to be able to please everybody. But there are just a lot of restraints on you and on your office. What is the thing that, again, I'm going to go back to excites you, but I mean that you see the most potential in growth in the office of sheriff for the entire county? Where do you see your office 4 years from now?
For me, number one thing that I've been pushing, it's been my platform, is training. A lot of our guys are lacking training that they could use to further their career. And so I see it being, not that it's not now at all. I mean, I think they're very professional, but I want to see it to be more professional. I want to see these guys excited again about coming to work, being out there and making a difference, and realize that we work for the people. And and when they do work and communicate with the citizens, that they realize that we do work for them, and that they come first.
The citizens.
The citizens. For me, it's my guys and citizens, but I got to take care of my guys. They can't take care of the citizens.
Right.
And so, I mean, I see it being more professional. Not that it isn't, but I'd like to see it more. I mean, everybody wants to get better and better. And I see the training, and unfortunately, I see my guys going elsewhere to make more money. You know, it's going to happen because the more training they get, the more they're going to want to move on. And so if that happens, you know, we'll just have to hire somebody else and get them prepared.
So I hear you saying trying to make those around you better excites you the most.
Yes.
And so I would take that back to your years as a police officer. Did training help you and motivate you to do a better job within the force?
Well, you know, they always say that in the business world or anything, knowledge is power. Well, I don't say that because I don't like the word power, but for us, knowledge is confidence. And having confidence to do their job. So yes, training made me more confident, you know, to make a decision and know I'm making the right decision. So yeah, training is very important. You know, these guys need that training. I mean, there's all kinds of training that they could use to make them more confident in their job. So that's what when I say knowledge, I always use is confidence.
Well, I'm going to put you on the spot, Free, because I know you're not a public speaker, but there's a lot of us who know you, and that was evidenced in the vote. But there's a lot who don't know you, and I'd like for you to just say a little bit about Freeland Wood and inviting the county residents to get to know you a little bit better, to work with your office, and just an invitation to get to know Freeland.
You know, everybody I've talked to, and I don't even know them, I've said, come see me. Come see me at the office. Come in. I welcome everybody. Now, granted, I hope there's not a line of people, but I mean, I'm not against coming to you. There's people that can't make it to come and see me, and I'll be out there, and I'm going to be hitting the schools. I'm going to be, but my invitation to everyone I've talked to is come see me. I'm open to that. I think that there's no transparency here. I mean,
all transparency or no transparency?
I mean, there's all transparency. I'm so sorry. All transparency. I am open. I mean, my son sometimes tells me I talk too much. I need to know when to stop. And that's because I just love it. This is so exciting.
Well, and that's because of the politician in him.
Yeah. He said, but you know, I mean, I love this job. It just, you know, my goal in my whole career was to make a difference somewhere every day.
Sure.
And if I could make that difference in someone's life, that not only helps me, you know, as far as knowing there's a person out there that might help me one day, but also it helps all the other officers to realize, hey, they're all not bad.
Yeah.
We all have bad officers. Everybody has them, and it's sad. But there are more good ones. There are a lot more good ones than there are. I met a few of my deputies recently that they got big hearts. They care. And not that they don't all, and I know they probably, I mean, I'm sure they do, but the ones I've got to meet, you know, they're there for the people. And that excites me.
Yes.
More than anything. That just makes me feel good.
Well, and it excites me to have my friend Freeland Wood as our new sheriff. And we record this just prior to him stepping into the position. And we know how hectic all the information is coming at you right now. We certainly appreciate you taking the time to allow all of us to get to know you a little bit better, but also just to congratulate you, Freeland, and say, job well done for what you've done for us and for our kids for so long with the Shawnee Police Department. And now you move over to the county, and we look forward to working with you here.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate you.
Thank you, Free.
Thanks.